Act 5, Scene 1. We've got a pretty interesting situation here. So we're in a graveyard and we've got two grave diggers and they uncover the skull of Yorick, who was a court jester. A jester, a funny man in the court, is there for a bit of humor, a bit of satire, someone of a typically lower socioeconomic standing. And Hamlet knew Yorick when Hamlet was a child. And you can imagine how much fun Hamlet had with Yorick, this court jester, because, well, Hamlet was the son of a pretty nobleman. He was literally the son of the king of Denmark. So he would have had a pretty close-ish relationship with Yorick. Yorick was simply there for everyone's entertainment, and Hamlet loved him because, as a child, we're just drawn to all these funny, goofy characters. And now Hamlet, he begins to reflect on the situation, more so on the inevitability of death and, simply put, the futility of life's pursuits. And here's the thing. This plays on our idea of memento mori, this Latin phrase, remember you must die. Everyone dies, but not everybody lives, if you know what I mean. We are all destined to die. It's the oldest truth in all of the universe. And Hamlet begins to think about it all. And yeah, well, if I'm going to die, what's the purpose of all of this? What's the reasoning behind it? And this plays on the idea of the futility of life's pursuits. Like, what is it all for in the end? Why am I doing any of this? What's the reasoning? And look, this is not a newish concept or anything. I mean, this play is 400, 500 years old, and just these feelings of, what's the purpose of anything here? These are very old beliefs. So, yeah, what's the meaning of any of this? And these grave diggers, they also uncover Ophelia's grave. Now, this is a really weird situation that's about to unravel here. And this leads to a bit of a confrontation between Hamlet and Laertes. Because Hamlet, he finally comes to his senses when he sees that, okay, Ophelia has killed herself. And now Laertes is like, oh, that's my sister. So Hamlet's like, whoa, Ophelia's actually dead. He's completely sobered up now. And he realizes, wow, the skull that had loved me truly, wholeheartedly, all the way through, has now killed herself. Because of me, my actions, how I treated her, and I murdered her father. So I had a hand in my lover's death. And Laertes is just angry because all of this was unnecessary. Hamlet basically killed her sister. Hamlet killed the father. Hamlet pushed her into a deep, dark corner. So as you would imagine, Laertes is absolutely fuming. Now the two men, they grapple with their grief and anger over their respective losses. And Hamlet is now fully aware of his fate and the consequences of his actions, and prepares for the final confrontation with Claudius. So these two men grapple, they're grappling on the ground first, and then they start fighting. The fight gets too heavy, and all of a sudden now they find themselves in the grave of Ophelia. So they're literally fighting in Ophelia's grave. This is dark humor, man. This is some really dark stuff. Now this scene, it underscores the play's themes of death, Ophelia's death and Yorick's death, mortality, what it means to live, as well as the passage of time that has taken place over the play, and just this feeling that life is short.